Welcome back, everyone. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy, here with Everything RVs podcast. And I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been on last, with the RV shows going on, everything that has kind of thrown my schedule for a loop. But I do appreciate everybody lending me your ears and watching here today. One thing I got to let you understand is my job for bringing this Everything RVs podcast to you is to give you the information that you need so you can make an educated decision, and also so you can go out and make memories that last a lifetime. Now, I can't do it without my sponsors. And I'll tell you, today, my sponsor is, you can see, it's the Airlock air purification systems. And I'll tell you, this system works phenomenal. I installed one in my camper. Of course, this weather hasn't been cooperating, so I haven't been able to really use it. But I can tell you one thing: I've been using this in my office. This is a little filter, and trust me, my office, for whatever reason, it has odors, and I'm not sure where the heck it's. I'm sure it's coming from the ventilation system, but this definitely makes a difference. I'll have a link down below to their products. They have the ones that go in the air conditioners. I actually did a video showing you how to install it on your air conditioner. I'll show you that. I'll have that link down below as well. But again, I appreciate you lending your ears or watching this on YouTube. So without further ado, today, the question we're going to ask or answer for you is, should you get a certified RV technician to inspect your camper prior to you picking it up at the dealer? Or if you're buying it from a private party, for all that matters. That's the question we're going to answer today. And today I'm glad to bring on Scotty, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him, and then we're going to get on with the questions. And by the way, if you have any questions that maybe we didn't answer, put them down below, and we'll sure to get back to you. So, Scotty, appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. So I've been doing RV inspections for about 6 years. I started out with a RV live-in horse trailer and decided I wanted to learn more about the AC and the DC and how the air conditioner worked. And then I found out I can be an RV inspector. So as Paul said, helping people make decisions, I like to say I like helping people make informed decisions. I might find something during an inspection. Doesn't mean it's a deal killer, but it lets the buyer make an informed decision and have a better idea of what they are purchasing.
Perfect. So in your opinion, bottom line, should somebody purchasing an RV, and then we'll get into the weeds after this, but should they get their RV inspected prior to picking it up?
The easy answer is yes. And I like to give you a couple thoughts to think about, a couple words, not be air conditioning or furnace, but think about insurance versus investment. So many of you may get some RV insurance, and your insurance is there in case something goes wrong. You've got a breakdown on the road, or your AC doesn't work, or something in the campground, the slide out won't work, or you can't get it back in. Then you have some insurance where somebody can help come fix something. Investment is what you're going to spend a little bit of extra money up front so that you can have better knowledge to make that informed decision to go enjoy your RV experience. And if you're going to spend a lot of money out of your wallet on something, that little bit of extra investment that you're putting forward to get a certified inspector to go look at something for you, he works or she works for you, not for the person that's selling it to you.
Now, what can someone expect when they hire you or hire an inspector to go inspect an RV?
The NRVIA, National RV Inspectors Association, has a set of guidelines that all certified inspectors follow. They produce a report in detail, a written report, and they should communicate to you any deficiencies or anything that is not up to pristine conditions in that report. And they should be able to communicate to you, the buyer, here's some things you need to be aware of. Now, an RV inspector is not going to tell you, is this a good deal or not? They're not going to tell you, is this a good price or not? But they're there to work for you to help you make this understanding decision about, are the systems going to work like they're supposed to work? Is the water heater going to heat water? Is the furnace going to blow hot air? Is the air conditioning going to blow cool air? So you go to join that happy RV experience by the campfire, you're not immediately pulling out your tool bag to go fix something that was overlooked when you purchased this new vehicle for you.
Well, so now, you made a good point about being a certified NRVIA RV technician. However, in my experience, it's more than that. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, it is. And I think that's another thing to think about when you're considering to hire an RV inspector, is to ask them some questions. I like it when people ask me questions. Are you going to look at this? Are you going to look at that? Or are you interested in this? Or what experience do you have? And that's part of, I think, the owner needs to ask these questions why to their RV inspector, but then also ask the dealer, is it okay if I bring my RV inspector to take a look at the unit? And if the dealer wants to say, well, you really don't need to do that, then you need to ask yourself, well, why does the dealer not want me to have a third party inspecting this vehicle? In my experience, the best dealers welcome another RV inspector. They assist along the way. If there's anything there, they fix it on the spot. And to me, that tells me within the first 10 minutes that this dealer welcomes somebody taking a look, because they've already done a good job prepping this vehicle for the buyer.
Well, you're getting on to something here. Now, I can tell you from a standpoint of dealers prepping units prior to having it inspected, I think there are two different things that we need to make sure the customers typically should understand. If a customer is buying a new RV, I don't think that a dealership should have an issue with prepping the unit prior to having an RV tech inspect it. However, prepping a used unit, because they're much more entailed, I think you will find that there are RV dealers out there, when it comes to the used units, that they'll wait till after an RV inspector looks at them before they actually prep the unit.
And that makes sense, because then the dealership is not doing things twice, spending their own energy on finding things, but relying on the buyer then to do the RV inspection. They find something. Again, I've found multiple dealers that I'd find something, they'd come right out and fix it right away on the spot. So it became nothing I had to put in a report. I may put a little note, discovered there was needed a little bit of sealant around the grommet in the hot water tank, but the dealer installed it right away, or things like that. So deficiencies were corrected on the spot, which basically says the unit's ready to go.
There you go. Well, that's awesome. Now, and I think you made another important point, because I think all too often there are people that want to go ahead and become a certified RV tech with the NRVIA, and yet they don't have the adequate experience to really do the job properly for the client. Would you agree?
I would. So my personal background, I was in the Army for 21 years, and then I worked in the nuclear industry for another 20 years. So I was in and around a lot of mechanical moving things, but yet still, when I became an RV owner, I hadn't put my hands on pliers or screwdrivers or test equipment so much as watching other people. So that's where I learned some of the skills and improved my skills over the years. And I do better inspections now than when I first started. It's easy to say that. So having a bit of experience in someone who's done something for a while, but those are some things the buyer should question the RV inspector about and ask them about things, and how, and start that communication. And as I said, when I first go into a dealership or even to a private seller, within 10 minutes, I've got a feeling on how well this RV is going to be maintained. And the buyer should engage in a phone conversation with the RV inspector, not just look at their website or send a text or email. That talk on the phone, get a feeling about whether you feel confident in what this person's telling you.
Right, no doubt. Well, I'll tell you, it is so important. I know that when RV inspectors first came out, probably about 5-6 years ago, that I'm aware of them, I know there was a lot of pushback from dealers. But I think as it became more and more popular with folks buying them, I think dealers have kind of caved to creating issues for those inspectors. and those customers. I mean, some still do. I know I just got 2 customers from another RV dealer because they were giving them such a hard time with RV inspectors. Now they had to drive an extra 200 miles each way to go ahead and come buy an RV through us, but we were so much more. I guess we were making it a heck of a lot easier for them, and we weren't giving them excuses, giving them pushback and things of that nature. You know, my job, I've been in this business since '01. I always tell my customers, you know, anybody can sell you something, but the difference is who's going to be there for you after the sale, after you go ahead and pay them and you get down the road. And so that is very important. And I'm sure it's important too from an inspector standpoint. You know, I can't tell you how many inspectors I have seen that have come to our dealership. They don't know the first thing about them, and they're asking us questions on how things operate. You know, that's not an inspector that should be out there charging people money to inspect somebody's unit because they have no idea how things work.
Right.
So,
and many RVs, even the different manufacturers, they're somewhat different, but then they're somewhat the same. Many of them have Dometic units that are pretty much the same all throughout. They may have Atwood that are same throughout. The components are still have to function. There may be some different controls that operate those, and like in the air conditioning systems or throughout some other things, but the fundamental systems, you know, should work accordingly there. The water should be heated and should be able to find hot water. And then you want to look to make sure there's no leaks. You know, and it's also kind of important, and I think in our experience too, right now, it's kind of cool weather outside. So when if you're getting your RV inspected in December and the RV inspector says air conditioner works great, well, how does he really know when it's 40 degrees outside that there's air that's cold around the coils on the outside of the air conditioner and it's functioning right? Now, a RV inspector who's got a little bit of confidence in himself is going to tell you, I can't positively verify that the air conditioner works. It's blowing cold air, but here's what you'll need to do going down the road to follow up with this, because there's only so many things you can do based on the ambient conditions. So you really have to have this questioning attitude all throughout. And just speaking a little bit about new units versus a used unit, one needs to understand a little bit the manufacturing of these RV units. They're made in a manufacturing process where it's not one person who works all the way through every component. So it's moved from stage to stage to stage. There's opportunities for a connection to be missed or a penetration in the roof to not be fully completed as they move through from different people work on different units. So even though it's brand new, and even though the dealership goes through a positive, really looking to make sure they've caught everything, there's an opportunity for something small to be missed that can make a bad day on your RV experience.
No doubt. Well, I'll tell you, you know, case in point, I remember back, this is years ago though, we had a motorhome. I won't name the brand, but it's a brand I typically don't recommend anyway, but they did not connect the kitchen sink to the gray tank. The pipe was run, but it just wasn't connected. So, you know, but again, working in a dealership that does the job right when we're doing things, you're able to figure that stuff out pretty quickly. You know, but again, I think that's important when people are looking at dealerships. Look at the reviews. When you're there looking to purchase, have the salesperson walk you through their wash area. Have them walk you through the shop. Take a look. You know, is the shop clean or is it dirty? Do they really take care of the rest of the business as well as maybe the front of the house? What you typically don't see. There's so much. People are investing a lot of money, and these are a depreciating asset. So the thing is, I like to show those things to customers. And, you know, in today's day and age, inspectors are only going to get more. We're going to have just more and more as time goes on. Now, me personally, I mean, I've told this to customers before. I've had customers, buying an Airstream, buying a Grand Design, buying a new camp, buying these top end brands, they'll say they're going to get an inspector. What are my thoughts? I'm like, listen, that's totally up to you. It's your financial, it's going to cost you. I said, but if it were me, and of course I know enough to be dangerous, I wouldn't spend the money to have something inspected. But I leave that up to each and every customer, because everybody has a different level of comfort level, right? It's no different for people that, they ask me about buying extended warranties. What are my thoughts? Again, it's all about what's your level of comfort.
That's right. That's extended warranty. That's your insurance in case something goes wrong or breaks.
Correct. So
what's your investment? If you're going to spend $60,000 to $70,000 on a new unit and $600 or $700 or $500, you feel like that's too much to make sure everything's working when you're going to pull it off?
Now, I've got a great question that customers could ask a technician or a quote certified technician to see if they get this question right. And that is, how big is the hot water heater on the RV that they're inspecting? And if they tell them that the hot water heater is 6 gallons, or that it's a 10 gallon or 12 gallon or whatever, you have the wrong technician, because there is no such thing as a hot water heater.
That's right.
It is a water heater.
That's right. It's a water
that
heater.
Drives me crazy. I know I'm a stickler for detail with that, and that just drives me crazy.
So here's another tip I'll give you and give your friends. If you're considering buying a unit from a dealer, ask the dealer for a copy of their PDI.
Okay.
And if the dealer can't produce that,
or won't,
well, they will give you a reason or whatever, I would walk away.
There you go.
Because a pre-inspection delivery, a PDI, pre-delivery inspection, is something that every dealer is going to do, and they're going to be thorough on that. But now, how do they do it? How do they document it? Where does that document go? Does it go into the file to provide to the salesman to sell the unit so they can say, this is a record of it? And then I'd be questioning, well, who did this? Did they sign their name to that? Maybe that's just the old nuclear world I come from. But if somebody shows me a copy of a PDI with James Smith at the bottom of it, then I have a better comfort level that somebody has put their name on something. They have actually gone through this. Because maybe in your experience too, you've seen a copy of a PDI and you go back and look, and something either was not checked or left off or checked. It just somehow didn't happen. And so just the simple question of, can I see a copy of the PDI that was performed on the unit? Well, that's not very penetrating or very mean or being very intrusive. That's just asking a simple question, and the dealership should be able to say, let me get it for you.
Well, I'll tell you, that's what I love about the Southland Airstream and RV that I work for now, is they actually have the technician that did the prep doing the walkthrough with the customers. So they know everything on that unit. And the customers will feel more confident when they ask them questions and they're able to tell them exactly, what they did, what they found, things of that nature. So, I mean, it's a great way of doing things. I mean, I come from the old-fashioned dealership where, the technicians prepped it, and I was the one actually walking my customers through doing it. So big difference. But, I'm there for my customers after the fact anyway. I could actually do the walk if necessary, and I've done that a couple of times. But no, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, folks. So again, if you're looking to hire a certified RV technician, some technicians had been camping for maybe a few years, 5-10 years, and then became a certified technician. They're probably going to be a little bit more ahead of the curve versus somebody that just got their certification and never even saw a camper before and never camped. I think the key thing is for these technicians to know how these systems work in real life. And that's just my own personal opinion. But again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Folks, I hope you learned a couple things. Let us know down in the comments if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll have Scotty's information down below this as well. So if you have any questions, you always reach out to him as well. So appreciate everybody. and we'll be back at you again next week, same time, same bat channel. So thanks again, Scotty.
See you on the trails.
All right, man. Take care.